The one-way property of hash function is extremely useful for security. Recall that the one-way property means that it is easy to compute the hash from the message, but it is impossible to find the message from the hash. You can think of it this way. You can make hash brown from potatoes, but you can't make potatoes out of hash browns. Let's look at this example of using hash to verify password. Hashes are particularly useful for password verification. We all know that when we authenticate ourselves to a system, we need to supply a password. Now let's look under the hood. What happens? For example, when a user supplies a password candy, the system would take the input candy and hash it, and then compare the hash value with the stored hash of a password on the system. If they match, then the access is allowed. Otherwise, access is denied. That is, the clear text password candy is never stored on the system. Only the hash of the password is stored on the system. And then whenever the user types in a password to authenticate him or herself to the system, the input will be hash. And then the hash of the input password will be compared with the stored hash of the password. You may ask, why not just store the clear text password on the system? Think about it. If you do that, then anyone who gains access to the system can look at the clear text password and then impersonate the user. This can include attackers or even other users on the system. Therefore, we never store the plain text of the passwords on system, only their hash values. Of course, if an attacker gains access to a system, he can steal the hash of the password. Then what the attacker can do is to guess possible passwords one by one and hash each guessed password and compare the hash value with the stolen hash of the password. If they match, then the attacker knows that he had correctly guessed the password. Therefore, it is important for us to use a password that's very hard to guess. For example, we should not use any word in the dictionary.